is Ruel's Running Podcast, a podcast about running, health, family, play, and an NSNG lifestyle. And now, here's your host, Ruel.
Excuse me as I rock on. That's Went Away by Dorothy Lane. Dorothy Lane out of Martinez, California. That's out of the Cut and Dry album. Check them out at DorothyLaneMusic.com. Yeah. Do you need a website? If you're an individual, a consultant, a group, or small business and need a site, or maybe you have an existing site, I can help. How about graphic design? Do you need a design for a t-shirt, logo, product, business cards? Maybe you need help with designing and developing a brand. I'm not an expert, but I do have the tools and the techniques to get the job done. How about a podcast? Yep, like this thing. This thing's a silly little show. Are you looking to set up a podcast of your own? Are you looking to reach an audience? Promote your business via podcast? Well, Abadam Studios. That's right, Abadam Studios. Yeah, so that's Abadam Studios. AbadamStudios.com, AbadamStudios.com. Check it out. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. It's Ruel. What's going on? Someone's got to tell me what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. I think the last episode was recorded back in January, and right now we're just sitting at the beginning of March. Good Lord. Yeah, it's kind of tough right now to figure out how much I've already said and what I've yet to say, but oh well, let's just pick up where I think we left off. So let's see. Yeah, it was like mid-January when I recorded that last segment. And I don't think I released it, but anyways, yeah. a whole month has blew by, the month of February, and that's okay. Just a high level, what's going on. January was a trip, right? I had gotten, I had basically gone carnivore. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned that at all, but I had gone carnivore in January. I had participated in the January NSNG AF event, which the AF stands for the as fuck and the NSNG stands for the no sugar, no grains. So basically, it's sort of the current flavor of what had originally been called No Life into Living. And it was really pretty easy in January to do that. I had decided to go pretty much carnivore right after Christmas, and it's carnivore-ish. It's not super strict carnivore, but being in that realm made it interesting as far as basically experimenting with different types of foods, in particular organ meats, right? After learning about how there's much nutritional value in organ meats, so it's like, great, let's go figure out what organ meats are available in my area or where I can purchase, and as of today I've purchased meats from two places, one in I believe in Missouri, US Wellness Meats, and that was cool. Picked up like beef heart and grass-fed ground beef with beef heart. Got some bison liver and bison spleen, and trying different things. And then the second place, more recently, I bought from Belcampo Meats, which are here in Northern California. So I picked up couple two-pack packages. They were selling 2-packs of their grass-fed ground beef, so I grabbed a couple of those. I picked up a couple of their they call them Shasta steaks, but they're also London broil. And a couple of the what else did I pick up? What else did I get? Can't even remember. Maybe tenderloins. I think I got a couple of tenderloins and a single package of their liver, their beef liver. All grass-fed, grass-finished, meats. So currently going through that. Of the first package of wellness meats, I still have some leftover spleen that I have to finish. It's pretty interesting. I think I have some leftover. Yeah. And then, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, did that in January, and I was killing it. And quickly realized, I'm hitting ketosis very easily, not thinking about it. Obviously, if all I'm eating is meat and fish, and other meat, animal-based products, I've eliminated most vegetation, just sort of like, carnivore, movement, or call it effort or test, whatever. And it was like, wow, this is cool. This is really cool. And then it became not cool. Don't get me wrong, I think it's still cool, but the not cool part is, well, let me start off with the cool part. The cool part is, ever since I quit alcohol in November, and then I went strict NSNG in December, flipping over to carnivore, but which by definition puts me in NSNG as fuck, and in a carnivore way, which automatically put me in a ketogenic state. I dropped like 20 pounds, right? And I've gone, as of today, I've crossed over 100 days of no alcohol, and so it was great. And then I realized that I was actually dealing with something that is directly connected to me being in ketosis, as far as the research that I've done, and I'm one of the unfortunate few that get a rare condition called what the heck is it? Let me see if I can find it. It's called prurigo pigmentosa, currently known unfashionably as Keto Rash. And from some old studies, a couple cases, one was a woman probably pregnant, something along those lines, and another was an Asian dude who was in therapeutic ketosis because of things that he was being treated for, whether it was epilepsy or other brain related things. He experienced it too, and so basically it ends up being like, oh yeah, I'm an Asian dude, and yeah, I'm in ketosis. Did I put myself in a state where I unfortunately, and I think I did. And I mentioned before, I think, that I had received but I had gotten this a couple times in the past, and I kind of blamed it on, just going raw. Like, I was going pretty heavy with the raw broccoli, with my way of eating NSNG. I was using raw broccoli as my carbs, and I was eating, pretty good, clean NSNG, but, at some point, I had a couple of spots of keto rash that I had to deal with in the back of like one of my shoulder blades, and I blamed it on things like maybe there's the toxins in the vegetation, or maybe it's just kind of a heat rash and it'll pass. And eventually those two past moments did pass. But then today, I mean not today, but this go around, it's taken up most of my back. It's kind of spread from the middle and on out. It's kind of weird. And that's when I realized, this is a problem. And what really is it? What could it be, and how can I deal with it? So currently trying to deal with it, and the way that I've dealt with it is to put myself out of ketosis. And it's very weird because I'm now thinking about strategically thinking about putting carbs in how I eat, which basically ordinarily it's supposed to be really easy to do, right? Just to eat a bunch of junk, but I don't want to eat a bunch of junk. So I'm, trying to think of what are good ways for me to carb up in a good way, sort of like a therapeutic carbs. It's kind of weird thing to say. I need therapeutic carbs because for a long time carbs have been thought as, be careful. So I kind of went off on the other end of the spectrum and kind of went really low, and so now I'm starting to understand it. There is a way to get too low for too long and for it to not be good. I mean, I think there's a lot of people out there that are not at risk of this prurigo pigmentosa, but I could be wrong. I just unfortunately am one of them who's gotten it, so I've got to reassess how I approach my nutrition, but we shall see how it goes. Anyways, that's the update, and that's all I got. I'm going to keep it really short, super duper mega ultra short. What else happened real quick? January was a virtual run. The goal was to hit 200 plus miles, but I didn't. I went just about 80 miles. It was kind of tough, trying to knock out about 8 plus miles a day to reach that goal. Didn't happen. Started off in a deficit and sort of petered out. So it is what it is. Part of the challenge was trying to mix it up with the rest of the day-to-day family responsibilities and work. And I just don't have that type of freedom to just, crank it all out. Because I do have to be around with other folks and stuff. So it is what it is. Still pretty proud of the effort. And I thought that maybe I'd carry over the effort in February, but it didn't. I practically did no running in February, so I'll have to reassess when I'm going to do my next fun stuff on the run. And that's all I got. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Ruel's Running Podcast with Ruel. If you like what you just heard, share it with your friends and your enemies. Also, be sure to check out the site over at ruelsrunning.com. This has been another Coffee with Heavy Cream production. Join us next time for another silly show of Ruel's Running Podcast.